Middle school student Yu Tenjo has been bullied since childhood due to his obesity, even by his own parents, who prefer his more attractive brother and sister. Yu lives alone in a house he inherited from his grandfather, the only one to treat Yu kindly. One day he saves a girl, Kaori Hojo, from thugs but is badly beaten in the process. Later, he discovers a secret portal to a cottage in another world which operates like a video game. The cottage comes supplied with powerful weapons, and while experimenting with his skills, a powerful monster appears outside the cottage's magic barrier. From inside the barrier, Yua kills the monster and immediately gains 100 levels, evolving his body, making him tall, muscular, and handsome. Using a skill to trade items for Japanese currency, he buys new clothes before returning to Japan for his first day of high school. His former bullies are stunned by his transformation but, along with his jealous siblings, still attempting to continue to bully him. They are interrupted by the arrival of Kaori, who somehow immediately knows who he is. For having saved her, Kaori's father, chairman of the elite Aosei Academy, is offering Yua a place at Aosei. His siblings attempt to push Yua aside, claiming they are better suited to Aosei, but Kaori rejects them as spiteful bullies. Yua leaves with Kaori, leaving his siblings humiliated and furious. He worries about fitting in, but the chairman assures him Aosei values strength of character over grades, making it easier to hone skills and have fun. As a trial, Yuya attends a science class run by Ms. Sawada, where most female students are smitten with his good look. Yuya becomes tentative friends with Ryo and Shingo and is overwhelmed by people treating him with actual kindness, so he agrees to transfer to Aosei. Kaori shows him the nearby shopping center, and while sharing snacks, insists they use each other's first names. Many eavesdropping students assume they are on a date, embarrassing Yuya. He decides to return to the other world for fun, but this time encounters a girl named Lexia, whom he rescues from a monster. Unsure what to do, he sneaks away unseen once her guards arrive. Yuya decides to spend some of his new wealth on clothes. While shopping, he is grabbed by photographer Hikaru as replacement for male celebrity model Sho and takes part in a photo shoot with professional model Miyu, who is drawn to Yuya's inexperience and charm. Sho abruptly shows up late and forcefully flirts with Miyu. When Yuya protests, Sho tries to punch him, only for Yuya to instinctively defeat him. Due to the cameras still recording, Sho is exposed online as a scumbag, destroying his career. Despite enjoying himself, Yuya declines Hikaru's offer of a modeling contract to focus on his studies, but Hikaru insists on paying him with free designer clothing. In the other world, Princess Lexia of Arcelia is determined to thank her anonymous hero and stubbornly returns to the dangerous forest with her guards to find him. Yuya visits the other world and finds Lexia and her guards under attack again, so he rescues them, and Lexia abruptly asks Yuya to marry her. In Japan, Miyu's boss is determined to hire Yuya before other modeling agencies get to him. After Lexia's sudden proposal, proper introductions are made, and Yuya receives an invitation for an audience with her father, the king of Arcelia. However, Arcelia's first prince is most displeased. An assassination attempt against Lexia under his orders was foiled just before she was rescued by Yuya. On Earth, Yuya begins his life at Aosei Academy, where he quickly makes new friends among the students and impresses them by spectacularly rescuing Kid Kazama from a stray soccer shot. Later, the Red Ogre Gang, commanded by his jealous twin siblings, attack Aosei to take revenge on Kaori. Though momentarily paralyzed by his self-doubts, Yuya gathers his courage and single-handedly takes down the entire gang. When the police arrive and arrest the gang, the Red Ogre's leader tries to kill Yoda and Sora for getting them into this mess, but Yuya rescues his siblings, leaving them deeply ashamed of their past mistreatment of him. On another expedition in the other world's monster forest, Yuya encounters and rescues a black Fenrir puppy, whom he adopts as a pet and names Knight. As he takes Knight for walks in his neighborhood on Earth, Yuya inadvertently draws even more positive attention to himself, and also meets Kaori and Miyu by chance. After Knight proves more capable than his appearance suggests, he accompanies Yuya on his monster-slaying exploits, during one of which they slay a crystal deer which wields both fire and water magic. A drop item it leaves behind after getting killed bestows Yuya with an instant hot bath whenever he needs it. On another trip, they discover a cave, which contains a man's skeletal remains and a tome labeled the Book of the Sage. In the meantime, an infamous assassin named Headhunter is hired to kill Princess Lexia. The book is the Journal of the Sage, the original owner of Yuya's cottage, who mastered every known skill and was invited to become a god, but declined in favor of retaining his humanity. The book warns Yuya to cultivate friends who will never fear him, no matter how strong he becomes. Responding to Yuya's desires, the book grants him the sage's magical power and teaches Yuya and Knight everything about using magic. At Aosei, the students are invited on a 2-day camping trip. Yuya's group includes Kid, Akira, and Rin. Yuya's friends, including Kaori, take him shopping for camping gear. The girls are separated from the boys and trapped by a fire, but Yuya uses magic to rescue them. In Arcelia, Lexia's father King Arnold learns Lexia proposed marriage to Yuya and concludes Yuya seduced her. Additionally, a girl with a dark aura confronts the divine rabbit, god of kicks, and announces she will destroy the world. While continuing to explore the forest and sharpen his skills, Yuya and Knight encounter a girl being menaced by a group of goblins. Despite Knight strangely trying to keep him away from her, Yuya saves the stranger, introducing herself as Luna. The girl claims she came into the forest for training. After Yuya treats her with a kindness she never experienced before, she falls for him and asks him to help her improve, which he readily agrees to. Sometime later, Yuya returns to Earth to take a break from their team-up in favor of his field trip, with his classmate of mountain land owned by Aosei Academy. To the students' bafflement, they have to spend this weekend sleeping outdoors and foraging their food. Yuya once again impresses his fellow students by hand-catching fish for dinner. In the other world, however, Luna is revealed to be Headhunter. The next day, a wild bear strays into the camping area and attacks. When Miss Sawada is threatened, Yuya subdues the beast bare-handedly, and it is decided to keep it around as a guard animal. On the day he is scheduled to meet Lexia's father, Yuya ends up thwarting Luna's attack on the princess and knocks her out. Unable to believe she is evil, and curious about her reasons, Yuya, spontaneously joined by Lexia, teleports them all to the sage's hut to treat Luna's injuries. After learning about Yuya's relationship with her, Lexia questions Luna, who reveals her life story before she became an assassin for the Guild of Darkness and that her latest mission is to kill Lexia. Expecting to be executed by either the princess or the guild for her failure, Luna is surprised when Yuya and Lexia instead extend their friendship to her. The princess hires her on as her bodyguard, and both girls declare their affection for Yuya to each other. After spending the night in the hut, Yuya escorts the two girls to the edge of the forest, where he parts ways with them because he has school coming up the next day. Right afterwards, Yuya and Knight are joined by a little scarlet boar, whom Yuya names Akatsuki. Back on Earth, Yuya participates in a soccer trial competition for the upcoming Academy's Ball Sport Games, where he continues to stand out even as a goalie. The same afternoon, Mew's boss tracks him down at Aosei. The manager of Mew's fashion magazine Cutie Beauty approaches Yuya as he leaves school, only to be refused. But when she learns of the impending sports competition, she decides to take pictures of Yuya participating in that event. While on another monster hunting expedition deeper within the demon's den, Yuya is aided by the Divine Rabbit, who has been observing his progress and has chosen him to be his successor as the bearer of the Divine Kick. After hearing about the equilibrium maintained between two groups of advanced beings, the benevolent divines and the destructive vials, Yuya agrees to get trained in order to protect his friends in both worlds. When the sports competition begins, by happenstance Yuya ends up participating in every discipline and easily prevails, and for assisting her during the tennis match, Kaori gives him a passing kiss on the cheek. When next facing his vile opponent, the rabbit is able to surprise her with the magic Yuya taught him as recompense for the training, whereupon she decides to target Yuya for elimination first.